Ember was no ordinary stray. Her yellow eyes, usually bright with mischief, held a distant look tonight. The full moon hung heavy in the sky, bathing the quiet town in an ethereal glow. It was a night for whispers and shadows. The houses stood silent, their inhabitants lost in dreams. But Ember was wide awake, a restless energy thrumming beneath her sleek black fur. The moon's pull was a tangible thing, tugging at her very being. She padded through the deserted streets, a shadow among shadows. Her senses, usually attuned to the rustle of a mouse or the distant bark of a dog, were overwhelmed by the moon's silent call. It led her onward, past the houses with their darkened windows, towards the edge of town, where the ancient woods began. The woods loomed before her, a wall of darkness against the moon-washed sky. Fear, a sensation unfamiliar to Ember, pricked at the edges of her awareness. Yet the pull was stronger, urging her forward, promising something unknown. With a flick of her tail, she crossed the invisible boundary between the town and the wild. The scent of pine and damp earth filled her nostrils, a welcome change from the sterile air of the streets. The moon was her guide, its pale light filtering through the dense canopy of leaves. The further she ventured, the more the town seemed to fade, becoming nothing more than a distant memory. The woods had a life of their own, a symphony of rustling leaves and the snapping of twigs. It was both exhilarating and terrifying. The path beneath her paws was no longer paved, but a carpet of soft earth and decaying leaves. Strange shadows danced around her, cast by the moonbeams twisting through the branches overhead. An owl hooted, its mournful cry echoing through the stillness. A shiver, and not entirely from the cool night air, ran down Ember's spine. She was deep within the woods now, a place where the townsfolk rarely ventured, especially not under the light of the full moon. Legends whispered of ancient magic that clung to these woods, of spirits that wandered beneath the trees. Ember, streetwise and pragmatic, had never given much thought to such tales. But tonight, surrounded by the forest's eerie embrace, she felt a tremor of unease. The trees thinned, and Ember found herself in a clearing bathed in the moon's silvery light. In the centre stood a circle of ancient stones, their moss-covered surfaces gleaming faintly. A sense of peace, ancient and profound, settled over the clearing, a stark contrast to the unsettling energy of the surrounding woods. Intrigued, Ember cautiously approached the circle. As she stepped within the ring of stones, the air grew heavy, charged with an unseen energy. The hairs on her back stood on end, and she felt a strange tingling sensation in her paws. A low growl rumbled deep within her chest. She was on edge, every instinct screaming at her to flee. Yet she stood her ground, mesmerized by the circle and the palpable energy that pulsed within its ancient embrace. From the shadows at the edge of the clearing, a figure emerged. A cat, sleek and silver, its form shimmering as if woven from moonlight itself. Its eyes, twin orbs of pure yellow, held Ember's gaze, filled with an ancient sorrow and a glimmer of hope. Fear threatened to overwhelm Ember, but the ghostly cat's gaze held her captive. Words soft as the rustling leaves echoed in her mind. "Do not fear, kitty cat. The secret's if the pure light binds you, but it also grants you a destiny." Before Ember could comprehend the meaning behind those words, the ghostly cat faded, dissolving into the shadows as if it had never been. The clearing was silent once more, the only sound the gentle whisper of the wind through the trees. Panic welled within her, the urge to flee overwhelming. She turned, racing back the way she had come, the words of the ghostly cat echoing in her mind. She burst from the tree line, the familiar streets of the town a welcome sight. As she disappeared into the shadows, a single thought pulsed in her mind. Her journey was just a dream. I'm so thankful to be home. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more dramatic stories.